Hey, hello. How are you? Is audio all right? It's good. I think this will probably be the last time I use this deck. Um, for a bit, anyway. I'll have to move on to the other ones. Well, yes, but also, this deck can be, like a little punchy, a little bit too brutally honest. So, probably good to take a break from all that here. So, is the audio alright? Looks like I might need to adjust the volume levels a little bit. I really hope that wasn't loud. I didn't even hold that next to the I didn't even hold that next to the microphone. I held it away. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Going to need to adjust this a little bit. Okay. Maybe about there. Maybe a little bit more. What about there? Okay. Seems a little better. Okay. I really, really hope that didn't pique my microphone. Anyway, I guess I'll see what message the deck has currently. What message do you have for those who might be watching currently? Of course. One just flew all the way over behind my table and onto the floor. Thank you, card. Thank you. One moment. Yes, it was indeed very eager to share that. Oh boy, there are two cards actually that flew and landed on the floor. So the first one is Abandon. Second one is Ending. Those are the 2 floor cards. The third one is grip. So the first one, let's see. Abandon says, there is always a last time. Sometimes we think we have found it. The person, the place, the thing, only for enough time to pass to realize it wasn't the world. It was a snow globe that we dared to be real. And like a house plant that has outgrown its pot, we too must leave sometimes. So we gather our grief and carry it in our shaking hands. Or we walk out with an emptiness that feels like permafrost. Or we steal away like a thief in the night. The shape in which we are leaving is not as important as honoring the knowing. We must bend to it, even when it's hard, even when it's so much easier to stay in our small pond. To abandon is to love the snow globe for what it was. A momentary home. A pocket we whispered our dreams into. And we can find a space for it on the altar of our hearts while we walk the open road. What I get out of that one is that sometimes to continue growing, there's something that we first must let go. Letting go of something is sometimes the only way to continue growing. The next one is ending. Ending is on page 26. Ending says, there is always a rebirth with every ending, but this card is not about that. Too often we try to dress up endings in soft language that makes it more palatable and easier to swallow, because somewhere in our minds, we believe we are not strong enough to handle it. Do not dare to think that you are too soft to live through any ending. Bathe in the ash of the ending. Let the full force of it hit you. Feel the weight of it. Stand within it. Acknowledge it for what it is. Or what it was. Not all endings live fresh within us. And when we have the courage to stand in the nothingness that is the end, we are putting on armor. When we face it, again and again, we become life itself. Nothing can be stripped from us. We are everything and nothing at the same time. We see, truly, that there is no ending or beginning, only what is. Yeah, those two certainly they go very well together. Those were the two messages that it was very eager to share. So eager that it sent them onto the floor. The third card is group. Group is group says group is the 911. It's immediate. It's urgent. Before we can work on trust, before we can truly shift our mindset, we must stop. Anyone who is familiar with addiction and sobriety will tell you that the first step is to stop using. It is only then that the thinking, that which keeps someone sober, can truly be addressed. But the first step is the stop. It is time to open the clenched fist, to no longer put reality into a box and let it bloom on its own. When we are always working to be the composer of life around us, we may not be able to hear the music. We want to play along with it, to ebb and flow with it, to witness its unfolding without attempting to make it what we want. There will always be things we can control and things we can't. We can control how much gas we put in our car, but we can't control the price. The medicine within this card is a deep breath. It is inviting you to clear your head. It's letting you know that you can stop whatever it is that's creating suffering for you right now, and just be present for a moment. Those three cards together certainly create quite the message. Well, I hope if there's someone who needed to hear that message, I hope it helped you in some way. One moment, I'm readjust a little bit. My legs are starting to cramp. suppose it's time to open the queue. Okay. The queue is open now for anyone who might wish to join. That means you're up first. Are you ready? Okay. What message does Lan need to hear today? You got static, you got vision. Static is static says the Earth is still rotating and moving beneath us, even when we can't feel or see it. We are always still on the move, even when we aren't. But the feeling of static, of being stuck, may be deeply uncomfortable. We each live in this space differently. You may feel completely shut down. You may feel like your cells are on fire. You may feel like your whole body has restless leg syndrome. Oftentimes we're pushing up against our life with so much force, we cannot see that we have space to move. This card asks you to zoom out and let your eyes readjust. Our brains are so powerful, but they can keep us repeating the same pattern over and over again. And when we are in a place of being frozen or stuck, we cling to the old way of thinking. This is not to say push yourself out of this space. Try to bask in it instead. Make room for yourself in this stuckness. Let yourself lay down and look around. Stop pushing, start seeing. You may find that you want to rest a bit. You could also see the various paths that lay at your feet, ready for you to explore. You may sense that you are running parallel to a new way of being, one that you can jump into when you are ready. You get to decide where you will go from here, but in this moment, just let yourself see the possibility without feeling the need to move. I feel like that last line there is the most important. Vision is... Vision says, even if we are in the darkest of places, vision can guide us out if we let it. It's no easy feat to hold on to something that feels abstract and so far out of reach, but the more we tend to our vision, the more it can become real. This card signals a potent space opening, where what you create in your head can be planted and grown more easily. Whether you feel like this vision is your last lifeline left, or you were just shooting for the next level, let the floodgates open. Live in this space as thoroughly as you can. Let it be woven into your cells, without expectation about the outcome, simply being with what you're building. With these two cards together, I feel like you're being asked to stop and to pause for a little bit and see the possibilities that you can create for yourself. And decide where you want to go from there. Yes. I don't know in particular with like the messages that I've been getting for you. They're telling you that you need to see that first. You need to realize that there are possibilities and that you can actually create these things for yourself that you want. But first, you need to realize that before you can do anything. I hope that helps a little. Okay. For anyone who might be watching, if you type exclamation point read me, you may join the queue. Hello. Thank you for stopping by. I'm currently just doing general readings with this deck currently, but yeah, I can ask what message he needs to hear currently, if that's all right. If you'd like to join the queue, I'm just doing general readings right now. I'm not doing anything too in-depth. I'm sorry. I'm more than happy to ask what message he needs to hear currently, though. If that's okay, and if you'd like to join the queue, the command to join is !readme. Yes, thank you. So I'm currently using an oracle deck that is called the Empyrean. This one right here. If you would like me to use this one, this is the one I'm currently using. If you would like me to use this one, let me know. I do have 2 other oracle decks to choose from, if he would rather have one of those. I have this one called Work Your Light, and this one called Moonology. If you would like either of the other ones used, just let me know. Well, I know the messages from the one that I'm currently using, the Empyrean. They can be quite powerful at times. So, if you'd rather have me stick with that one. That's fine. I'm not doing any specialized readings, like I said right now. I'm just doing general readings. Meaning I ask what message you need to hear most. If it happens to correspond with any of those things, If it happens to correspond with any of those things isn't really up to me. If you're looking for something that's a bit more in depth, it might be best if you look elsewhere. If you want something that's more in depth, it's best if you look elsewhere. I'm not asking specific questions right now. I'm not doing anything in depth currently. Okay. What message does he need to hear right now? Word is ether. I'll put this up for you. Ether's on page 41. Ether says, and just when you think it's nothing, it's everything. We may never be able to comprehend the idea of universal energy. We play with it, like mercury broken free of a thermometer. Just when we think we have it, that it's the lens we now see through, it dances away from us like a flame, and we are back on the bustling streets shouting at faceless traffic. We are one has become a trope that we've outgrown. It's repeated to calm anxieties, to unify when there's a fracture, to soothe when we feel the heat of anger. It doesn't come close to capturing the true magnitude of all that we are, of how truly connected everything and everyone is. Each of us, minuscule threads in a fabric woven together, stretching across time and space. A fabric that can shift and move, swell and contract, that cannot be torn or destroyed. The magic of knowing that we are the ether is having the ability to transform and expand in any given moment. It's trusting that the same atoms that make up this universe, that stretch on for eternity, that hold so much mystery and alchemy, live within us. We can mirror their rhythm. We can tear down the levees that keep us trapped in this world made of steel, and begin believing in the ever-possible infinite, where ease is attainable, where the difference between love and hate is hair-thin, just a decision. We can embody the untamable wild, that is the burning stars, the diamonds that rain on Jupiter, the laugh of the bold spirits that echo through galaxies. The part that stands out the most to me in this is the line that says, "The magic of knowing that we are the ether is having the ability to transform and expand in any given moment." It's important to remember that nothing is set in stone. We always have the power to change things. For instance, if you ever receive a reading that you don't like, the most important thing to remember in that case is that that doesn't mean that's the only possibility. It is just a single possibility, and it's not set in stone. You always have the power to change it if you wish. I hope there is some part of that message that he can identify with, and some part of that message that might help him in some way. It's alright. Like I said, the part of that entire thing that stood out the most to me was the part that says the magic of knowing that we are the ether is having the ability to transform and expand in any given moment. Um, Essentially, what that says to me is, as I said, that it's important to remember. It's important to remember that nothing is set in stone, and that you always have the power to change things. I hope that helps in some way. Of course. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry I couldn't give a more in-depth reading. Suppose I'll give myself a reading. What message do I need to hear today? Define and abandon. Yes, it does. I think this has popped out like every day. At least once. Like every time I stream. I certainly know which one, or what in particular abandon is trying to tell me. I don't even have to read. Read the booklet to know what. I know the thing that it's asking me to let go is to let go of my limiting beliefs. The limits that I place on myself. I can almost guarantee you, if I actually pulled out my tarot deck and drew cards currently, it would either pop out the Seven of Swords or the Devil. Or if I'm really unlucky, it would pop out both. But Abandon says, there is always a last time. Sometimes we think we have found it, the person, the place, the thing, only for enough time to pass to realize it wasn't the world, it was a snow globe that we dared to be real. And like a house plant that has outgrown its pot, we too must leave sometimes. So we gather our grief and carry it in our shaking hands, or we walk out with an emptiness that feels like permafrost, or we steal away like a thief in the night. The shape in which we are leaving is not as important as honoring the knowing. We must bend to it, even when it's hard, even when it's so much easier to stay in our small pot. To abandon is to love the snow globe for what it was, a momentary home, a pocket we whispered our dreams into. And we can find a space for it on the altar of our hearts while we walk the open road. Define says, to define is to reach the space where you no longer have to weigh your truths, trying to find some form of balance. To know yes from no. To be okay with all that you are, and all that you are not. To stop collecting what you love in others, and trying it on like an oversized coat, hoping that it will be enough. Enough for what? To be as unsure as everyone else? We are all moving through this life, trying to make friends with the demons at our back. What if you knew your truth the way the ocean knows its tides? To let it settle into every cell in your body, to live it so completely that a stranger can feel it on the street. To covet another's power is to insult our own. To always seek is shielding our gifts from the sun. To define is to let yourself be planted. It is knowing what is for you and what isn't, and being okay with it. No longer trying to be acceptable or what another needs. It is knowing that your power could split the sky if you let it breathe. Shed everyone else's skin. Drop all distractions. Close the casket of uncertainty. Run toward yourself. Let knowing crash into you. Set all that burns inside you free. If you wish to join Q, the command is exclamation point read. as I was beginning to say, yeah, the message of divine uh, certainly certainly proves that they're telling me to let go of my limiting beliefs. So I should have known to do this when I first started seeing this like issue. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue with the binding on my booklet that comes with this deck. I didn't do anything about it because I figured it would be okay, but I should have known better. Some of the pages are starting to get really loose. And one of them actually just kind of popped out. So that's not good. Luckily I have the digital version now, so I can still continue using this deck, but I'm certainly going to have to contact them. Anyway, I'll go ahead and ask it again. If it has any messages for people who might be watching. So, what message do you have for people who might be watching? Guess what card it is? I'll give you one guess. Yup. Oh, thank you, Dick. This is what I mean. Loves popping out this card. Every time I stream, at least one point during which I ask it what message it has for people who might be watching, it just pops out this one. At least once. It just has to pop it out. At least once. What message do you have for those who might be watching? I think now it's gonna be sassy. No, it doesn't want to give one. Okay. At least it gave me something different. That message is creation. Creation says, on the bridge of dream to reality. There is little as sacred as the space of creation. When you're dancing in galaxies of inspiration, stars leaking from your fingertips, knowing that you'll never get this moment back. When it's just you on the couch, tending to the fire that will soon be for everyone to see. Creation asks you to give yourself over, to get out of the way, to let something be born without hesitation. It asks you to stop hassling it, asking it where it will go and what it will do, if it will make you money or if people will love it as much as you. Seeds don't ask God if their bloom will be Instagrammable. Let yourself live in the bubble. Don't open the door for the doubts that ring the bell. Close the window when you hear whispers asking what the point is. Let yourself get taken up completely. Let time slow. Let light years pass. think it's probably time that I call it here soon. My legs are starting to cramp a lot. Body is definitely telling me that it's time to rest. I think it's probably time to call it there then. I think I'll do one more message. One more message. See what final words I have to say before I close off. Then I think I'll just call it here. Okay. What message do you want to send us off with? What message do you want to send us off with? Earth. Earth says, our spirits weren't made for this place. Like mismatched lovers, unable to fully meet each other's needs. We still try. We carry on making the most of our gravity-bound, blink of the eye time. Earth is a language we are still learning how to speak, clumsily trying to translate our spirit's fire into words that can be understood, a picture that can be felt through a screen. The cosmic joke is that the puzzle pieces will never quite fit together. We will still close our eyes at night, trying to quiet the questions that don't make sense here. The medicine of this place is rooting where you are, adapting to the density, chewing over the unknown but not letting it annihilate you. The earth teaches us how to make do, like being on a stranded island and figuring out how to make a spearhead out of stone, a raft out of buoyant wood. It's imperfect, a sliver of the potential, but we learn. Some overshoot and destroy, extracting and building with no real purpose. Others become paralyzed, fading away. The lesson here is learning to walk into the storm and not look for an axe or a getaway car. It's knowing it will be millennia before we strike the right chord, but we get creative anyway. We clench our fists and fight anyway. We soften our hearts and love anyway. We let our lives be a prayer for the future. For the you and me that will be here again soon. We seek to remember on our trips to this place. And we make friends with the idea that we can't. But we try anyway. That is certainly a wonderful message to leave off on. Keep trying anyway. And with that, I'm going to call it here. For anyone who stopped by, thank you. Thank you for sharing a little of your time. Thank you for joining the queue. And hopefully I'll see some of you later. Bye for now.